Hello, my name is Abby Dolan, and today I will be discussing the importance of data analytics in the healthcare industry. This video will address the different types of big data in the healthcare industry and what the sector can do to utilize analytics to its fullest potential. I will start by highlighting the 4 V's of big data with regards to healthcare. Next, I will dive a little deeper into the different branches of healthcare, including patient management, financials and claims, and pharmaceuticals, to see how big data affects them and how they could and should be using analytics. Next, I will discuss Premier Alliance as an example of how they use big data and data analytics to save costs, increase the amount of data they collect, and make better decisions. Finally, I will wrap up by talking about the future of data analytics and what the healthcare industry can do for its next steps in order to make these processes a plausible and essential functionality for organizations in the future. Before discussing why analytics is critical for the healthcare industry, it is beneficial to highlight the 4 V's of big data to identify where and how analysts should be focusing their efforts. The volume of data in the healthcare industry continues to grow at an exponential rate due to the variety of items collected and transmitted. It is estimated that 150 exabytes existed in 2011 and will likely have grown into zettabytes by this point in time. Cloud computing and virtualization have made it easier to handle the velocity of data accumulation. The industry benefits from collecting data in real time, and they are constantly facing the challenge of adopting the capabilities necessary to do so in response to the growth in volume and speed. The velocity of transmitted data could be a means of life or death when dealing with trauma, vital signs in the ICU, or surgeries in the healthcare industry, so being able to keep up with this real-time speed is extremely crucial. The variety of data helps analysts determine relationships for adequate decision making due to the abundance of sources used for information throughout the industry. Data can be structured, such as number of hospital visits for a patient or group of people, semi-structured, or unstructured. All types are equally important for types of information in this field. It is important to focus on unstructured data, as approximately 80% is unstructured in forms of images, videos, emails, and social media activity. Some other types of data include patient records, medicine information, clinical trial submissions, hospital activity data, and genomics information. The final V that applies to big data deals with value, which ties together the information highlighted in the first 3 V's. It would not be worthwhile to spend the time, effort, infrastructure, and money to collect the vast amounts of data that exist in adequate speeds if the information it provided did not possess any value to the industry. Data analytics in the healthcare industry enable the various types of firms who participate the opportunity to make decisions, identify patterns, seek opportunities for future action, and ultimately save the lives of those who are affected. Increased capabilities in technology have made it easier to collect more data in the healthcare industry, such as patient data, medical equipment data, hospital administration and maintenance data, and lab data. However, the industry lacks the overall infrastructure or knowledge necessary to collect all information available and use it to their benefit. There is a potential to implement big data solutions to address the complexities and large volumes of data. This can lead to greater security measures, more thorough research for medical or surgical solutions, cuts in costs, and ultimately provide a more thorough understanding to all the moving components in the healthcare industry. Data analytics in the healthcare industry allow companies to access a central location to enable authorized users to access any information about a specific individual or group quickly and effectively. Datasets that can be collected include demographics, past medications or prescriptions, and any visits to hospitals or clinics. Analysts can use these sets of information to see how much consumers are paying for particular services and look for ways to offer the most cost-effective treatments and services in response to consumer demands. Analyzing patient profiles can also help healthcare providers determine who may need preventative care, recommend methods of treatment, and help patients figure out certain care protocols for procedures and practices. Seeing these various data points can help analysts determine the relationship between these factors and come up with better ideas, such as researching what may lead to certain diagnoses in groups of people, or how different interactions of medications and conditions affect certain people to make more strategic marketing and operating decisions in the future. Due to the complexities of financial and governmental regulations, the healthcare industry is extremely reliant on accurate and efficient analyzation of data. Data analytics can reduce the costs of storing and accessing the various types of information provided. It is estimated that the healthcare sector could generate savings up to $300 billion annually if they found more effective means for data collection, analyzation, and management while standardizing processes and making operations more efficient. Data analytics can also formulate relationships between patients' conditions and demographics to buying patterns and amounts paid for particular practices or procedures. This could help healthcare companies learn more about the consumers they work with and find strategies to find more cost-effective solutions for these treatments and services. This could help the companies save costs for themselves while keeping their customers satisfied. Claims are also an essential part of the healthcare industry and generate most of the cash flows between companies and consumers. Specialists can use analytics to see whether the claims are accurate and consistent amongst one another based on consumer activity and prices, which will help mitigate the risk for potential fraudulent claims. Because finances and claims are critical and are heavily regulated in the healthcare industry, data analytics would be greatly beneficial for the healthcare companies to implement. Data analytics can also play an important role in the pharmaceutical branch of the healthcare industry due to the large volumes of patient and medicine data that they collect and process. Pharmaceutical companies would benefit from applying a series of analytic approaches to their databases to identify patterns, predict outcomes, and see how they are performing against their competitors. Prescriptive analytics can be used to identify patients who may need pharmacist interventions and clinical trial participations while predicting prescriptive outcomes related to consumer demands. Predictive and descriptive analytics can also help pharmaceutical companies search for risks and medical problems based off of feedback from consumers and related side effects or results reported for particular medications. Companies must be careful to mine data that is relevant for analyzation purposes and to avoid the large amounts of noise and irrelevant data that exists. These bits of data allow companies to determine patterns and consumer behaviors to make better decisions, so it is important that pharmaceutical branches know what is most important to collect and analyze. Premier, a leading U.S. healthcare alliance network, works with 2,700 members, hospitals, and health systems, in addition to 90,000 facilities and 400,000 physicians. Despite the potential the variety of these sources provide for different types of data collection, it is estimated that data only exists for 1 out of every 4 patients that go through their system. To address this issue, they established Premier Connect Enterprise, a database for clinical, financial, supply chain, and patient data to allow for a centralized access point to gather information and create comparable measures for reports and analyzation. They created data warehouses and business intelligence platforms alongside algorithms for more effective data acquisition, standardization, and integration to create meaningful relationships amongst all of the different data sets that is transmitted through their systems. Creation and incorporation of this database system have helped generate reports for analytics to discover relationships and see where the opportunity lies for better decisions and growth. After implementing the database and data analytics practices, 330 hospitals reported more efficient operations and saved an estimated 29,000 lives due to the $7 billion dedicated to increased focus on collecting vital signs and diagnoses in real time and training the appropriate people to look at this data and search for critical relationships. Healthcare data analysts and other personnel would greatly benefit from implementing more analytics procedures and infrastructure into their operations. There are a number of steps the sector can take to more easily incorporate big data analytics based on the amounts and types of data they work with, as well as how they use data to look for patterns or relationships and make decisions. Healthcare companies should focus on hiring the appropriate personnel who can demonstrate their ability to mine the right types of data and to identify relationships amongst patient and other healthcare data. Companies must provide analysts with the tools and infrastructure necessary to make analyzation the most effective it can be. This can include data warehouses for all patient data for data aggregation, access to testing environments to create and edit reports for various sets of data, and discovery tools such as business intelligence to provide real-time examples of analyzed medical information. Implementing these practices and encompassing a culture that focuses on data analytics in the healthcare industry will help these companies stay on track with the trends and growth in the amount of data and ultimately succeed in the future.